Hey y'all, my name is totally not Kiki and I don't have an intro yet, but I'm working on it. So, Monster High is coming back, right? And I'm a massive Monster High fan. I never used to consider myself as one, but I have a whole 5 shelves of dolls. I got merch. I'm wearing earrings. Like, it's a mask off moment. I'm a Monster High fan. And Monster High is coming back after years and years of either being lame or just not existing to begin with. It's finally back, and I'm trying to stay positive about it, you know? The original Monster High is iconic. It had so much going for it. It had lore, it had character design, it had really great toys, but I don't know, soccer moms got to it or something, and it had to end. But when they brought it back, they barbified it, essentially. My rule of thumb is, as somebody who follows dolls way too closely, is that once you see them trot out the families, fairies, and ballerinas, those are like the 3 horsemen of the apocalypse for a doll line, and the Monster High reboot had all 3. But I don't know, this new one is looking a little different. It's looking like they're putting more thought into it. They're doing stuff to appeal to new fans and old fans. They've redesigned everything, but they're making sure old fans are fed. You have the real drama dolls, you have collector's editions, you have re-releases. It seems like they're trying to plan it so that if we're on board, new people will be on board. Because, you know, the old people speak the loudest. But I'm rambling now. Anyway, point being, they're bringing it back and it doesn't look all that bad, but there's a lot I haven't seen. There's gonna be a live action movie, there's gonna be a cartoon, they've put out music videos. I haven't seen any of that. I'm scared. Like, I'm legitimately scared. But it also seems like there's a lot to love. So in this video, I'm just gonna stare into the sun and see if my original idea of staying positive about this reboot was worth it. If maybe I should have been bad-mouthing it this whole time. Let me see if me restraining my negative impulses was worth it just this once. First, let me kind of get into what the reboot is all about. What's interesting about this 3rd reboot, can you believe there's been 3 versions of Monster High already, is that the original had Frankie as the main character. The first reboot had Draculaura as the main character. This new one has Clawdeen as the main character, which means all 3 of the original ghoul friends had a chance to lead the series, which I don't know if Mattel just doesn't have faith in Frankie, but you know, whatever. I'm rooting for everybody black, so I'm not mad. Okay, so what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna look at the dolls. That's the most important thing, is, are the dolls any good? Okay, so I was kind of debating on whether or not I should use leaks or whatever, but I'm on the official Monster High wiki, so no one's getting in trouble. But I figured I would just start from the top. They're releasing the 5 original ghouls first. It should be 7 of them. There should be 7 of them with Ghoulia and Deuce, but those 2 have always kind of been like off to the side, I guess. But they have dolls too. Everyone looks different and everybody has sort of different personalities now. I'm a Frankie fan. She's my favorite. She's always been my favorite. But she is no longer she anymore. Frankie is now non-binary, which I kind of mess with. Frankie has always been just a mass of body parts and electricity, so it makes sense that she would have a different perspective on gender. So when I say she, I mean original Frankie, not new Frankie. New Frankie is they. Original Frankie is she. I'm gonna mess it up. And that should be okay. There's gotta be a transition period for everything. If I spend all my life knowing this person as one gender, it's gonna take a while for me to remember that they're not that gender anymore. So just give me a break, okay? I'm gonna do my best to get it right though. Monster. I know a lot of people were kind of complaining because new Frankie is more blue than green. And I think that's something to do with like the rights. Like Frankie can't look too much like Frankenstein anymore because I guess they don't have the rights to the Universal monsters or whatever. That's besides the point. Honestly, I kind of think this outfit is a bit iconic. I really like it, actually. I know they're taller than the other dolls. I do kind of wonder about the metal leg though. That's actually pretty rad. And it kind of has that whole schoolyard cast thing, like, oh, it's on my cast. But like, did they run out of body parts? Frankie is literally stitched together. You couldn't find an extra leg. Technically it doesn't make sense, but you know, people with prostheses deserve to be seen. But like, I mean, Cleo is 1,000-odd-year-old mummy. Like, maybe one of her legs turned to dust. She could have gotten a prosthetic. But yeah, it's iconic. I was kind of worried about this one because when the prototypes came out, I'm gonna sound super nerdy about all this because I've been following it so closely. I'm too invested. Don't be like me. I was kind of worried about it because in the movie, Frankie's head, half of it is buzzed like Venus's used to be, but it didn't look good, honestly, and I still don't think it looks good. And the actor that they got to play Frankie, it doesn't look good on them. But I'm glad they didn't go that way for the basic doll. The other thing with the original leaked prototype design I was kind of concerned about was it made Frankie look more punky than preppy. And sort of my favorite thing about Frankie was always her sort of girl next door look. Yeah, she's stitched together, but you know, she's just a normal kid, even though she's undead and powered by electricity. I always thought that was kind of a nice juxtaposition of the innocent girl next door with the man-eating monster. But I'm really glad that they kept that look. When I think of Frankie, I think of new and like excited and super pumped to be a part of everything. I mean, she's only 15 days old. I don't know how old they're gonna be in the reboot, but in the original, Frankie was only 15 days old. That's kind of why the aesthetic of like, you know, the innocent schoolgirl worked so well for them. If they had made them punk, it wouldn't have been as like, I don't know, it wouldn't have been as good. But also I really like preppy fashion, so I'm biased. But this is good. They've got an eyebrow piercing and the belt chain is kind of reminiscent of like the original design. The blue streak is good. The pink and blue is good. The fact that they're taller is good.
Good!
The only thing I really actually legitimately do not like is what the heck did they do to What's-It? What did they do to my boy? What's-It was the best pet. He was the only one that I actually liked. What is this abomination? What is that? No. Next, we're gonna look at Draculaura, who personally was my least favorite of the original ghouls. I don't know. Everybody loved Draculaura. I just was never really that into her. I really liked her aesthetic, the whole like gothic Lolita type look, and the whole fashion from the ages deal that she had going on because she was 1,600 years old. I thought that was really clever. But I don't know, she just wasn't my favorite. And it was even worse when they made her the face of the reboot because they already jammed her into every single doll line in the original Monster High because, oh, they're not gonna buy it unless it's pink, which is just... But they've kind of changed her up for the reboot a little bit. She's not really the bubbly, oh my gosh, I've been around for 1,600 years and I know enough to not be sad. I think her whole deal is that she's still Dracula's daughter, but she wants to be something more than that, which is a witch. And all of the early prototypes had her in this giant hat, but it doesn't look like her signature doll has a hat, which is kind of a bummer because she kind of is the most interesting body-wise. It seems like all the dolls have like a unique body type, which I really appreciate because Monster High was all about, you know, diversity and inclusion and whatnot, but and they did a lot. You know, the original dolls all had unique faces, unique styles, and, you know, unique personalities and whatnot. But in terms of body diversity, they never really strayed too far from the whole, you know, Tim Burton inspired skinny mini body, which had its own roots in horror stuff, but it could have been, they could have done more with it, which I'm glad they were finally like following up on here with the reboot. Case in point, the new Draculaura is a little shorter, she's a little curvier, she's got hips, the girl's got a donk, okay? But as far as I'm seeing, she also kind of has less style. Like, okay, I love the Melanie Martinez like two-tone hair, that's rad. I love that her ears are super pointy, but you can also see them. The original dolls, everything that wasn't like facing forward was just pasted flat back. So the original Draculaura had pointy ears. They were just like glued to the side of her head, which was the only dolls who really you could see what their ears were doing were like the werecats and the werewolves. But this Draculaura is like way out there. She got big ears, man. But I don't really know what's going on with this outfit. Like, it kind of has the Victorian look. Like, this black bow is kind of reminiscent of the original Draculaura's cravae. I like the ruffles and the bishop sleeves, that's neat, but this cape is so random. And I guess this new style is kind of more flexible for like the modern era. You don't have to think of like a historical basis for everything that she wears. Because the original Draculaura, I'm be saying the original whoever a lot, she always looks kind of weird when she wasn't in something sort of historical. You always noticed, where it's like, that looks a little modern for Draculaura, even though she, lives in the current era. It's not an awful outfit, it's just, I don't know, these pattern shorts it looks a little goofy. And the cape definitely looks goofy. Where is she wearing that? Is the whole point that like the dress is modular? I don't know. I don't really mess with it. But the accessories I do mess with. All these dolls have really great accessories. Like the monster snack, Frankie had Screech like a little slice of bolt-shaped pizza that was cute. And the phones are all unique to them. And they had a little camera. Draculaura has a slushie, it looks like, and SPF 500. That's cute. But I do have a question. Why do we keep letting Count Fabulous get away with it? Out of all the original pets, Count Fabulous was the worst. And it just looks so lame. And here he is again for the third time, looking just as lame as always. Why do we keep letting Count Fabulous get away with it? I also forgot to mention the shoes. Frankie's shoes are fine, whatever. But Monster High was kind of known for its shoes back in the day. There might have been a point in time, if you were super nerdy like me and you walked through the doll aisle, you would notice that, one, all the dolls had fantasy skin tones all of a sudden, Monster High effect. But they also had really intricate shoes, or an attempt at intricate shoes at Equestria Girls. That was Monster High. It was known for having these really hyper character specific, intricately designed shoes. I guess everybody shops at a regular choice at Monster High. I remember Deuce had a pair of high tops that were also Roman gladiator shoes. Cleo had these wedges that had sphinxes for the heel. It was top notch. And these shoes are cute, but they don't really say anything about Draculaura as a person. They're just chunky platforms. Could have been more done.
The duck said, I'll pass away.
Alright, next is Clawdeen, our new main character, and she looks the most different out of everybody. Her entire vibe has changed, and I personally don't think that's a bad thing. I kind of gotta wonder why they did it. And this is a good point to bring up the fact that I really like how everybody actually looks like high schoolers now. When I was younger, it would always be, man, everybody in high school looks so old. Now that I am old, high schoolers just look like babies to me, and all these characters actually look like high schoolers, which I appreciate. But Clawdeen's entire vibe is different. She was always the fierce fashionista, for lack of a better term. Marketing words. She was the one who would always take chances with her look. Oh, my hair will grow back anyway, so let me do whatever the heck I want to it. Her Dawn of the Dance hairstyle was this neon green bob, and you could tell that she dyed it the night of the dance because there was a brown streak in the back. Her hair was always drastically different. Her outfits were always the wildest, cat suits and cutouts and mismatched prints. She was a risk taker. But this Clawdeen seems a little more DIY-ish. Rather than the model designer type person, she seems more like the seamstress making the clothes for the model designer. The overalls and the freckles and the overall vibe is just very, let's do it ourselves, girls. Which is cute. She's cute. But the Clawdeen I know was fierce. I don't think it was a bad change. It's just different. And I think it looks good different. They kept her gold accents because wolves can't wear silver, so she wears gold jewelry. That's nice. The freckles are cute. I'm undecided about the bun. She wears glasses now, and that completely changes the look. She looks way better without the glasses than with the glasses. The bun looks weird when she has the glasses on, but when the glasses are off, it looks fine. But she's the main character now. She's Afro-Latin. It's dang, nobody can just be black. You gotta add something to everything. But at the same time, as somebody who is Afro-Latin, I have heritage in Cuba and Jamaica, so it's I'm complaining, but that's me. I just really hope that her Latin side isn't white, because they always do that, where it's just it's racial issues that I'm not trying to get into here. I'm glad Clawdeen is the main character now. I don't know why she's wearing glasses. She's cute though, and honestly, her pet looks the best. Out of the three that I've seen so far, Crescent actually looks good, so shout out to Crescent. Alright, next is Cleo. This is a good time to bring up the fact that the boxes for the dolls, the packaging, is way lamer now. The way I got into Monster High was that whenever I was in Walmart, I would just go to the toy aisle and start reading the back of the boxes. They would have these little all about the character things written on the back of the boxes in the character's voice. So it would be like, what's your favorite food? What's your favorite style? What's the name of your pet? What's your biggest pet peeve? And it was like a really cool way to like get into the characters before you even had the doll. Like you could have thought the doll was the ugliest thing in the world, but those things were still fun to read. There's nothing like that on these new boxes. And the drawings on the box don't even match what the dolls look like. Cleo is in a completely different outfit. And I don't know why they did that. This outfit is fine. I guess they've finally successfully made Cleo as blue as they've always wanted her to be. I will say, though, one of the things I never really understood about original Cleo was that she will literally die and turn into dust and blow away if she is not wearing one of her mummy wraps. Like, even a single bandage will keep her from just vanishing. But the bandages were always incorporated into her outfits, so you couldn't have her in an outfit that didn't have bandages. So one of the things I liked about the original reboot was that they had made the bandages a part of the doll's body itself. And you can see that on her lower leg here is that the bandages are molded on, so it's just like a part of the doll, which I think is rad. And you wouldn't have seen that if she was wearing the outfit that's on the box. I think it looks good. Aside from the print, I'm not really getting Egyptian vibes out of it. And why did they get rid of his head? I don't know, but she's got a falafel wrap. That's cute. And also the canopic jar mug. That's lit. If you don't know canopic jars, I might not be saying that right. When they would mummify somebody, they would take out their guts and put them in those jars. And she's over here drinking her latte out of them. That's cute. That's the old Monster High, like right there. You could tell that they were thinking really hard about how to make this new version as updated and close to the old version as they could. With stuff like that. Puns and making scary stuff kind of cute, kind of funny, kind of functional, which I like.
Nice.
Next is Lagoona, who also looks... No, I lied about Clawdeen. Clawdeen doesn't look the most different. Lagoona looks the most different. She's a completely different color. Her hair is a completely different color. She's not even Australian anymore, which none of these things are negatives, if I'm being honest. I think Lagoona is Mayan now, but I'm not really sure. She's based on... I forget. There's a Reddit post. I'll link it in the description. But I guess she's some kind of ghost now because the bottom of her feet are hollow. I remember in promos she was supposed to have like fish bones in the like clear part of her legs, but she doesn't. I prefer this Lagoona a lot more. It's easier to tell that this Lagoona is supposed to be sporty versus original Lagoona, if that makes sense. I'm not sure about these scales on her forehead. They look kind of weird. I don't know about those. I wonder if she has gills anywhere. I really hope that these new ones have like body secrets. Body adventure! The old Monster High dolls. When you took off their clothes, there was kind of more to discover. Like, for example, there was the genie, Gigi Grant. She kind of had a scorpion theme going on, but beneath her clothes, you could see that her body was also segmented like the exoskeleton of a scorpion. There's also Skeleta Calaveras, who was a skeleton. She didn't look like it because she used to come with like this little plastic piece that would make her body look like the other dolls. But when you took it off and took off her clothes, she was like a legit skeleton. She had ribs. She got the spine and everything. She was for real. I hope they keep up the tradition of that. Neptuna is still around, I guess, but she kind of looks like a hamster fish. This is confusing. Why bother with the pets if you're gonna make them ugly, bro? That's all I want to know. Lagoona's new ethnicness kind of brings up one of my pet peeves with the original Monster High that I think this one improved on a lot, was that Monster High was about diversity, but it wasn't really diverse. The original ghouls, you had Clawdeen and Cleo, and those were the two colored girls, because Frankie reads as white, Draculaura reads as white, Abby is Nepali, but everybody wanted her to be white, so she was. She had a Russian accent in the cartoon. Deuce was white, Ghoulia reads as white, Lagoona was white, she was just also blue. You know, that's 7 dolls, and you only have 2 people of color. And you could be all, oh, but they're pink and blue and green and whatnot, but when you know. When people draw them in human form, they're not gonna make them black. They're just not. That's not how that works. Which is why I'm glad that it's like, okay, these people have ethnicities. We're gonna make it explicit where they come from and why. Did you know that there were people who argued that Clawdeen wasn't black, she just had brown fur? Like, that's what I'm talking about. I'm glad. I'm glad that we have +1 to the colored count.
Oh, it's adorable.
Monster.
Alright, next is Deuce, and I think he's my favorite. Like, Deuce is actually cute now. The original Deuce I basically only got for like completion. He just had like this weird doughy face. Like, he had this weirdly wide face and a really serious expression and just was not giving any personality at all. So I really like this new Deuce. He's got like the long snakes, his skin is green, so he actually looks like a monster. He finally looks like a skater dude without that cringe vest. Snakeskin jacket, the pants with the print on it. He looks great. He actually looks really good. And I guess he's still a chef because he comes with an apron and a cupcake, which is adorable. Perseus literally looks the same, but he also looks the best. Like, Crescent and Perseus actually look good. And his water bottle has his mom on it. Aw, that's sweet.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Next is Ghoulia. She's gonna be a Target exclusive for some reason. Deuce is an Amazon exclusive, which I'm really glad about because boy dolls always sell out for no reason. But if it's in Mr. Bezos' hands, we'll never run out. Thank God for capitalism. Original Ghoulia's aesthetic was always kind of weird because it wasn't really one. Like, you would think it would be like blood and guts and bones, and sometimes it was. But original Ghoulia was like, she had a piano belt and a cherry top, red pants, and Converse boots. The vibe was very confusing. So I'm glad they've kind of gotten their act together for this. And actually brought her back. Ghoulia was always kind of a nerd, so I'm glad that they kept that consistent because she's got dead fast on her skateboard and a switch. That's lit. And she still eats junk food. What are those? Brain puffs. Consistency. You love to see it. And they didn't change her pet either. I wonder if she and Deuce will be friends because Deuce is supposed to be sort of a skater boy and Ghoulia literally comes with a skateboard. I'm really loving this jacket. Can I have this jacket? Actually, I want this whole outfit. I would totally wear this, honestly. Teach me how to skateboard. I'll be Ghoulia. I like that her skin, like, it has a color to it now. She used to just be gray, which was, it was fine, but it was also kind of like, she looked really dour because she had a really sharp face and really sunken eyes. They kind of rounded her out here and made her look a little more friendly, which I like because original Ghoulia looked like she would, like, put a curse on your entire lineage if you crossed her, which didn't really gel with her character at all. She's supposed to be the brainy one. But I'm glad. They made Ghoulia cute. Like, I would wear this outfit. Sell it to me, Mattel. If you know what's good for you, would make a Monster High clothing line for all ages.
It's radical.
Monster.
Replacing Abby as the extra ghoul is Toralei, who I think is a Walmart exclusive, which is fine. Toralei used to be like one of the hardest ones to find, I guess because people really liked her short hair. But they made it longer now, so it's kind of like, what's the point? I know her whole shtick in the reboot is that she's from an establishment family and she wants to keep things the way that they are, which is weird to me because she's also in a band called the Hisfits, or at least I'm assuming that's what it is because she comes with a band shirt and a mic stand and like Hisfit branded merch. I'm assuming she's in a band. Call me crazy. I really like that band shirt though. I've been collecting band shirts. Like every time I go to a concert, I also spend like way too much money on a shirt. So I'm really feeling band shirts right now. In general, this is a pretty good look. It doesn't look super different from how Toralei used to look, but I really am digging the expressions on all these dolls. Like everybody's got like a smile or a side eye or something to make them look like they're actually looking at something or emoting in some way. Except Frankie, because, you know, when you're the best, you can't have everything. But Toralei's got this really cool like evil villain smirk and this kind of punk kind of prep look. It's fine. She looks fine. I would get her. She's cute. It's fine. Toralei is good in my book.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
All right. Time to get into the real scary part. I had to get my energy up, but I'm back. Okay, so I'm going to watch some of the new stuff that they have going on. I know there's a cartoon and a live action movie. I haven't watched any of the trailers or anything like that. Honestly, I've been a little bit terrified, but really looking at the dolls and seeing how great of a job that they did with them kind of has me. I know the whole point of this video is to stay positive, but like if I'm being honest, I was expecting the worst. I was expecting the worst, but it's actually not looking too bad. So I'm gonna give it a go, and hopefully it's not cringe as hell. Okay, so from what I know, I kind of already went over this a little bit. Clawdeen is at the center now, and she only recently discovered that she has monster heritage, so she only just now knows that she is a werewolf. but she has to keep her human side hidden at Monster High because it's a school just for monsters, which is cool, but it kind of takes away from the original idea of Monster High in that Monster High was the type of place where all monsters were welcome. This version of Monster High seems a little bit more entrenched in, you know, monster society and traditions and blah blah blah. The original was more, this school is unique because it accepts everybody, whereas, you know, there was a school for vampires, there was a school for werewolves, there was a school for sea monsters. Monster High was supposed to be the one place where everybody could be together. And then the first reboot was supposed to be everybody was living in the normal world, like the human world. And they decided, okay, monsters are everywhere, and I guess they're not being educated or whatever. So let's make a school where they can come and be together. Generation 2 is about putting together the school. So this generation, the school is already there. It kind of has the best of both worlds, where it's the school exists, but we're trying to make it into the all-inclusive, all-accepting place that the original Monster High was. So I guess it's kind of in transition, but the other thing it takes away is, like, Clawdeen's entire family. So if Clawdeen is only just now realizing that she's a werewolf, that means Claudia doesn't exist. That means Claude doesn't exist. Helene might still exist, but, like, all her siblings can't exist because they would have had to have known they were werewolves too. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm going to start with what I'm the most scared to watch. The movie trailer. Oh god. Oh god. Here you go.
Welcome to Monster High.
Oh nice. Headmistress Bloodgood is, like, black now. I totally put off getting her doll, but she's black now, so I gotta get it. Listen, is it a plot hole that Headmistress Bloodgood was white to begin with? Is it a plot hole that there weren't more characters of color? Were fantasy skin tones a cop-out for having actual diversity? Maybe. Is that Heath? That's Heath. I could have given him, like, frosted tips. That would have been lit. He looks wet here.
Name's Frankie, pronouns they, them.
Clawdeen, she, her.
I wonder if there's any way to not make sharing your pronouns awkward. It's always awkward. Why? Is there no good way to do this? Why does Clawdeen have glasses? I'm still so confused about that. Like, you don't really need reasons to have glasses, but it's just, I really want to know what the decision behind that was. Did they just realize that in a school where everybody was diverse, it was kind of weird that only Ghoulia had glasses? This is another shot of Frankie, and it looks like they're shorter than Clawdeen, which is inconsistent. Give them platforms or something. Like, I want tall, lanky Frankie all the time.
There's also that.
How can you tell if they're home?
Maybe we knock. Never knock on a closed coffin.
Not sassy Draculaura. What?
Here we are.
I feel like she and Clawdeen have switched roles in the trio a little bit. Like, Frankie's the new one, Clawdeen is the mentor, and then Draculaura is like the ditzy crazy fun friend or whatever. Draculaura is now the mentor friend like Clawdeen was. Frankie is now the ditzy fun friend like Draculaura used to be. And now Clawdeen is the new excited one like Frankie used to be. It's interesting how they just have the same character, but they just like rearranged them. Hopefully it works. Okay, Monster High has always been like a boarding school or whatever. Just imagine having to share a room with 3 people. They're being friendly right now, but God, that's gotta be the worst. The bathroom situation, oh my god. But this is a good look for Draculaura. The outfit on this actress looks way better than the doll. I just am not understanding why the ball was dropped on the doll's outfit. Every other version of new Draculaura has a great outfit. I don't get it. Also, the skin paint, it doesn't look super fake. It actually kind of looks like their skin. That's pretty neat. But Frankie's looks are, it's doing it for me. Who the heck is this? Is that supposed to be Cleo? I'm just not realizing they got rid of her bangs on the doll. Those bangs used to be like the worst thing, because whenever you were getting a Cleo doll, you had to make sure that the bangs were laid. If you ever touched them, they would like floop up and she would have like a shelf over her face. It was ridiculous, but these are the thickest bangs I've ever seen. Oh my god. Not liking the black and white. Why are they trying to get rid of the gold in Cleo's palette? That's the real question. I think that's Lagoona next to her. That is Lagoona. What's going on with the ear situation here? Is that an ear cuff or her actual ear? Because if that's her ear, that thing looks gross. I'm sorry. Call me monster racist, but is that Ghoulia? What the? I feel like more could have been done with the school. I like the dank, dusty hallways. Not sure what's up with these hanging light bulbs. Like, missed opportunity to put like skeletts everywhere. You could have made them something spooky easy. Like, why are they not eyeballs or like skulls or rib cages? Like, missed opportunity.
Don't listen to Cleo.
Oh, is Deuce taking up for his racist girlfriend? But Deuce was always a pushover. Deuce was slick, not an ally. Because he would just let Cleo get away with it. She was a good person, but like, bruh, talk to your girlfriend. I forgot this was a musical. Oh my god. No.
Frankie, high five.
Sorry, I don't know what that means.
It's an act of celebration. You just put your hands together.
High five!
Good enough.
Frankie is still great. Confirmed. They're still great. Not the grounds of Monster High looking like Alpine Village. Like, what is this, Hogsmeade? I hope Bloodgood's not like... I hope she's just trying to figure out if there's a human there, not like actually being antagonistic. But I do think it is a nice change of pace, because in the original Monster High, humans or normies were just kind of there. Generation 2 Monster High, I know that they were basically recruiting monsters from among the human population, so they were kind of in hiding. So I kind of like that this seems to be clarifying what the relationship was, because honestly in the original version it was very vague. Like, humans are out there somewhere and monsters go to school somewhere.
Ow, sunlight, not my favorite.
Girl, you should be on fire. Talking about is not your favorite. Okay. We got one, boys. We got one. Let's go it. Yeah. There's no bow, but I'm counting this as a win. I'm not mad about this. I was really expecting to like turn the cringe machine all the way on, getting ready for some Descendants level, like I gotta turn my brain off to enjoy this type beat, but it actually looks kind of good. Kind of well thought out, like a really good launching point for a new era of Monster High. I'm actually hyped for the movie now, like I'm excited. Maybe because Frankie is so good in it, despite this promo image. But I'm actually kind of excited. They did a good job. Alright, let's watch the trailer for the cartoon now.
A high school for monsters?
I'm not sure about this new design for the school. The original school didn't really have anything notable about its outside per se, but don't make the school look like a toy. Oh, whoa, wait, the animation actually doesn't look that bad. Wait, they actually all look kind of cute.
Not bad.
But Clawdeen is so cute. Look at her, with her big eyes and her bun. That's awful. She literally got eaten by that trash can. Wow, they really said she was trash. Again, I really do like the metal leg that Frankie has now. I wonder why they didn't just do it like a normal prosthetic and like fit it over the thigh. It's their thigh and then the machine. So it's like, is the machine grafted onto their bone? I don't like the implications of it just coming out of their knee. Also, what I was talking about before, all the versions of Draculaura have better outfits than the doll. This is the giant hat I was talking about before. Why does the doll not have a giant hat? I don't get it. It's just such a perfect look. It says so much about her motivations. She's a respectable vampire, but she wants to be a witch. Therefore, giant hat. Also, vampire, sun hat, hello. Like, it makes no sense that they left it off.
The devil's Heath's dad. Has a goatee, invented pimples, and 24-hour news channels. That's Dracula.
Not Heath being literal hellspawn. His original parents were fire elementals, but like, now he's the son of Satan? Is that what's happening? I can't co-sign that.
Hey, Dad!
Dad, you're on mute.
That was a pretty good joke, actually. I appreciate the humor. But they all look so cute. I like this. The 2D webisodes were iconic, but it's a lie to say that they were well animated. The 3D animation was a joke. And then the second series of webisodes also had like this weird hyper stylized cel-shaded look going on. It just did not work. But this looks good. I enjoy this. This might finally be like the fully realized World of Monster High that I was talking about earlier. Plus the literal devil. Also, shout out to Dracula actually being Dracula this time. Gen 2 had Draculaura's dad as a doll, unarticulated for some reason. And he just looked like a nebbish, like, stay-at-home dad. It's like, this is supposed to be Dracula? What is this? He just made a vampire dude and said, that's Dracula. I'm glad that is, like, the Dracula this time. Shout out to the public domain.
Accessories!
Whoa, a secret closet full of bionic prosthetics? Fantastic!
I actually really like this, that Frankie has like interchangeable machine parts. They're technically a cyborg. That's kind of lit, actually. Kind of would have liked it more if they had kept it more monster-y though, where it's instead of machine parts, they have like pickled limbs. Like, okay, here's the limb of a sea monster or a slime monster or something. Because I mean, if everybody's flesh and blood, then Frankie can just like sew that part on and become that. That would be lit. But I guess it's easier if it's machines. kind of lacks like the horror aspect to it, but it makes sense that they did it this way.
My werewolf snout smells starchy, salty, potato-y.
Is that a living tater tot? What the heck? That tater can easily wiggle out of it. So is this a witch hat situation where anybody who knows how to do magic can do magic? Like you don't have to be born with it? Deuce really does look so much better, bro. For some reason in like the original show, he was just buff. Like, just randomly buff. I'm glad he actually looks how he's supposed to look, for once. Brain muffin. Ah! Okay, let me try to come up with puns for all these foods that are showing up. Maybe these are French cries? A burgor. Also, that's too much meat. Pop scorn? That's not very monstery. I tried. Skullet! I want to see them painting the walls. Not her getting rocked by a burger. What? I wasn't really expecting this to like turn into like an action show. Adventures of the Ghoul Squad tried to do that too, where it was like, oh, we're gonna kick butt with our monster powers. But honestly, I'd really much rather see like slice of life monster stuff, like attending a monster boarding school type stuff, than seeing these high schoolers beat people up with their powers as if they're special. Because technically speaking, if you live in a monster world and everybody has powers associated with being a monster, your powers aren't special, they're just a part of your biology. So I'd really rather just see them like living day to day in this haunted monster high school. I mean, maybe we'll have some of that. Wait a minute, hold on. What is that? Oh my god! This is the most ugly thing I've ever seen. They couldn't make her bat form like actually cute? That's an abomination. Kill it with fire.
Don't miss Monster High. The spooktacular new series premieres October 28th. Only on Nickelodeon.
Not bad. Not upset by it. Actually kind of looking forward to it. It looks like it might actually be good. My positivity is paying off. Call me stupid, but I'm excited. I'm actually excited for this. All of this wasn't so bad. The Monster High reboot looks like it's actually gonna be good. Or at least, you know, something I can appreciate as an old fan. Which is weird to say, because I feel like it wasn't that long ago that I got into it. But I guess it's been 10 years. So maybe I'm just old. It looks like they put a lot of effort into it. They kept Frankie cool, which the first reboot did not do. So that's already a win in my book. If you can, check out the Monster High reboot. Come back here and let me know what your thoughts on it were. Tell me I was stupid for staying positive and that it was trash. Or tell me I was a genius for getting you excited about it and it actually turned out to be something worth getting excited over. Or you could just leave a comment to help out this video. But yeah, that's it from me. If you've made it this far in the video, tell me how much you love Frankie. That's the only acceptable thing. Like, comment, subscribe, be gentle. See you in the next one. Bye, losers.